Welcome back. We're back with our round four, Swiss round four here with our two players from. Well, we have Ivan Ray here from Philippines and Wilson Fong from Singapore. Hi, I'm your commentator Phoebe, and here I'm joined with
Isma Myron, and we can't wait to commentate for round four. Both are from international countries respectively. One's from Philippines and one's from Singapore.
Yes. Both players actually now at 3-0, so they're up all the way up there. And yeah, Ivan Ray.
They have a very high chance to contest for the top cut sitting, I would say.
Yes.
And from what I understand is that Wilson Fong has been a veteran player. He's been playing for many years right now, and Ivan is much newer to the scene, but still with that record of 3-0, that's nothing to be shy about.
Yes, Wilson here has previously qualified for Worlds, and if he continues to perform today, if he makes it to the finals, he can very well secure his invite once more. Ivan, on the other hand, although new to the scene, I believe he started playing in VGC 17, fairly new, but yet still doing so well. I mean, with 3-0. That's impressive.
Yep, and we're looking into team preview, we can see Wilson Fong is carrying that notorious Mega Venusaur that he's famously known to use, especially with the Incineroar, Cresselia, Tapu Fini, Tapu Koko, and Landorus.
Yes, and then on Ivan's side of the field here, you can see that Tapu Koko, Milotic, Incineroar, Mega Salamence, I presume, Tapu Koko, and the Snorlax there. We can see a very clear Trick Room option there from Ivan's side of the field.
Just the first two mons up there with the Mimikyu and Snorlax are very Trick Room heavy Pokemon, but if you realize, right, I want to talk about the Mega Venusaur in his Wilson's team because it fits very perfectly in the metagame, I feel, right now. With Mega Metagross slowly decreasing in statistics along with Tapu Lele, Mega Venusaur is a very good call. It also walls Pokemon like Celesteela and many different Pokemon. But funny enough, it's one big counter is actually the Mega Salamence right there on Ivan's side.
Which he so happens to be bringing, actually.
Yep, but the Mega that stops the Mega Venusaur is more often than not really stopped by Cresselia actually, because Salamence can't 2-shot or 3-shot into the Cresselia.
Yes, and of course Wilson also is carrying a Trick Room mode on his side of the field. We've commonly seen that Incineroar paired with Tapu Fini, but what would normally be Charizard, the Mega's option, is now being used as Venusaur for Wilson here.
Yep, but I don't know if Trick Room is the way to go in this matchup because you're going to be boosting the Incineroar actually. Like the Incineroar is free to go for a knockoff early game. Like the Incineroar is a big threat on both sides of the field. But more often than not, Ivan really needs to preserve that Salamence to stand a chance to even play in this game, I would say.
Yes, definitely that Salamence, if you can maneuver around the threats on Wilson's side of the field, you have the Tapu Koko and such, the Landorus Therian especially, but if you can maneuver around that, he will definitely have a good position there with that Salamence.
Yep, both players have options to deal with each other, but I would say that if I were to pick a favorable matchup, I would still go with Wilson Fong, honestly. Just because of that Cresselia right there.
Yes, and of course if you can prevent the Trick Room Ivan's side of the field from setting up, then it's very likely that Wilson will have a field day. But we see Ivan here with that Milotic and the Incineroar actually getting that competitive the boost there from the Wilson's Intimidate Landorus.
One thing to take note is that the Intimidate from Landorus opted to proc first compared to the Electric Surge on Tapu Koko. That's a very clear indicator that that's going to be a Choice Scarf Landorus.
Yes, from Wilson's side.
Yep, and with the Intimidate proccing the competitive boost from Milotic is also posing a big threat right now.
Yes, especially being able to deal that big Ice Beam off the bat on that Landorus when...
But the Milotic does not have speed control, I would say, at the moment. So maybe, if I was Ivan, I would potentially go for a Fake Out on Koko and potentially go for an Icy Wind, I would say.
Oh yes, definitely. If of course that Milotic is carrying the Icy Wind, that would definitely be a good option to begin with. Of course, Fake Out, the better option at this situation, definitely to Fake Out the Koko because you don't want that Milotic taking big damage.
Yep, but Wilson can also capitalize off of this situation. Landorus might go for a U-turn, Koko might go for a Volt Switch.
Yep.
There are ways for Wilson to pivot.
Maneuver, yes.
Because the team is generally bulky on Wilson's side.
Yeah, you have bulky monster like Cresselia. The Venusaur is actually pretty, if you can EV it to be slightly bulkier as well.
And we do see Snorlax being switched in, and we do see Venusaur. Both the bulky mons are being switched in right now, and we do see Koko going for the Protect. Yeah, it's a very safe, no drawback play. And we do see Faker going on to Tapu Koko. Both decided to switch out their mons.
Yes. Of course, with Ivan there going with a Fake Out into the Tapu Koko, essentially burning the Fake Out, but putting both players in a slightly more fair position, I'd say.
Yeah, Snorlax is now actually going to get a free setup. But if it was a belly jump set right now, it's a big threat on the field because nothing
They
on
can
Wilson's
touch.
side.
Yes.
Sure, you have Incineroar with potentially low kick. Potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
But it's not a one-hit KO. So in the following turn, Snorlax gets a free knockout, I would say.
Yes, and we see Incineroar switching out there for
Possibly
Buhari,
maybe
which is
Salamence.
the Mega Salamence there. Of course, with the Intimidate, which will not affect both the Tapu Koko and the Venusaur,
I still feel Venusaur is going to switch out. Oh no.
but it actually opts to stay in and Mega Evolves right off the bat.
What does Ivan have on his trick on his Snorlax? Because if the Coco does carry Taunt,
Yes.
it's going to be a big problem. And we do see an Electrum Z potentially going on
Into
to the
the
Salamence
Storm.
switch in.
Oh, the Salamence switching.
Potentially. Because if you were to go for it on Snorlax, the berry's going to activate.
That's true. Of course, Tapu Koko here going for that Gigavolt Havoc. Into which slot let us see?
I presume... could be Snorlax, could be Snorlax.
I would think it's a Snorlax. Yeah, because he wants to really chip the health. If you chip it
That
that
did so much
yes,
damage. Is it a belly drum
essentially
variant? It could be a
wastes
curse. And we do see a Leech Seed going on to Salamence.
Okay, going for a Leech Seed instead of opting to switch out, and we see the belly drum go off there. But of course, having the berry already been procced previously now lowers it to only a slither of health there.
Now, yeah, Ivan's in a very bad position unless the Snorlax does carry Protect.
Yes,
But even
unless-
with the Protect, I don't see how the Salamence knock out Tapu Koko on this side of the field.
yes. Either way, I think if the Snorlax does not protect, it's definitely going down this turn.
No, regardless if it protects or not,
Yeah.
Wilson does have two Pokemon that
Yes,
outspeeds
outspeeds.
the Snorlax.
And
Choice
can
Scarf
definitely
Lando,
pick it up.
Incineroar, and Coco. So there are no way of Ivan setting up the speed tier right now. If you would have brought in the Mimikyu, potentially go for a Trick
Trick
Room,
Room, yes.
maneuver around there, then it's viable, but I don't see it happening right now.
Yes, we see the Mega Salamence actually coming onto the field right now. We see Venusaur going for a Protect, probably not to take any damage from that Mega Salamence, and Tapu Koko going for a Dazzling Gleam, picking off that Snorlax as we mentioned, and dealing pretty massive damage to the Mega Salamence.
Yeah, and we do see a Dragonance being procced out, but it does not pick up the KO on Tapu Koko, that's the thing. If it does carry Earthquake, then hey,
Then
that's a different story, but
Yeah.
then Venusaur gets a free kill.
yes. Yeah, I think Wilson played pretty well for the last few turns. He knew what he had to do. Going for the Gigavolt Havoc into the Snorlax is actually, I think, what really put him in a good position.
Yeah. Ivan just not managing the speed control was the downfall of his match, right? I feel.
Yes. He needed to rely on setting up that trick room, which did not happen. And because of that, his Snorlax was not able to, really function effectively despite getting the belly drum off.
We might just see Cresselia or potentially Landorus coming in for Wilson, I feel, because both are physical attackers on the field.
Yes. You want to.
Salamence is already at the red, you might want to
Yeah.
roost. Yeah,
You want
Landorus
to
should
get
come
the
in.
drop. You want to get the attack drop here, which we do see lowering both mons there at -1.
Yeah, and both are Rock Slide potentials
Yes.
for Wilson, and we do see a Protect going on to Tapu Koko. Do we see a potential knockoff? No.
We
Fake
do
out
see a
onto
fake out
Koko.
into the Koko, yeah.
He's got a roost here. Yeah, he got a roost.
She does, and restoring back its health. Well, right now, I mean, from Wilson's side of the field, it's a very clear rock slide coming.
Yeah, and with the Leech Seed just slowly chipping on the Salamence, Rock Slide and Leech Seed is just going to do its job, I feel. It's a very free Rock Slide and Dazzling Gleam on Wilson's side. Ivan can't stop the barrage of attacks coming his way, I feel.
Yeah.
Because there's no way of controlling the speed. Like I mentioned, Wilson, on paper, the Venusaur loses to Salamence, but the whole team structure
Yes.
has so many ways to deal with Mega Salamence.
Yes. On paper, like you mentioned, the Mega Salamence just seems so good against his team, but Wilson obviously always checks against it. We do see the Double Edge coming straight out into the Tapu Koko there.
And with no speed control, we're going to see a Rock Slide picking up the KO, I feel, on Salamence.
I do too.
If not, the Gleam will pick
Oh.
it off. And we do see Gleam, yeah, like I mentioned. Ivan just lost the Snorlax. Like, the Snorlax did manage to set
Yeah.
up, but it offered nothing on the
Yes.
battlefield.
Without that trick room being set up, that Snorlax just was not able to capitalize on the attack boost.
Because my justification, right, if you're going to be Ivan, right, why not pick up the KOs on everything besides the Venusaur?
Yes, because the Venusaur effectively was not able to touch his team much.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, if you can pick up the KOs on every partner of the Venusaur,
Yes.
leave Venusaur last, Snorlax can 1v1 it.
Yep.
Because now, yeah, Venusaur is just going to wall every single thing on the field. and Milotic's not gonna offer it.
Well, okay. Yeah, we see the Milotic come back in here against that Venusaur from Wilson's side of the field. Yeah, I mean even if Milotic managed to take out the Landorus, it still will go down either way.
Yeah,
to the
Rockstar is just gonna pick up the kill
yeah.
on the Incineroar, and then it's a bad day for Milotic in front of a Mega Venusaur.
Yeah,
What can you do? Icy Wind Freeze?
Icy Wind Freeze. Well,
I think he's going for it.
Let's not say anything right now, but we'll see the Icy Wind does come off here.
It did 18 damage on Venusaur, which could be recovered back with a Leech Seed.
Yes.
Or a Giga Drain, yeah.
Yes,
Giga Drain.
Giga Drain does come off.
And that's a clean 2 shot.
Recovers back of what little health it lost previously from that.
Yeah, oh, that's a very... Okay, because I was thinking, right, if the Milotic did not proc at the Adrenaline Orb, because I feel that would have been a better option for the matchup. But... Barry is also debatable, right, because I prefer the Adrenaline Orb set, because you check Landorus, hard check. Because now Landorus is a big problem for Ivan's team, yeah.
But either way, I think Wilson just played this set really brilliantly. I think he knew what he had to do and he executed it well. Ivan's downfall was, like you said, not having the speed control options to allow his Snorlax to really capitalize off that, and because of that, he has to climb his way back in game 2.
Yeah, he's gotta preserve the Salamence and Snorlax for the endgame. That's what I feel. Yeah, it's just a matter of preserving Snorlax, but you gotta consider what can you potentially bring. Coco, I would say Mimikyu has to come. Mimikyu, Incineroar, Salamence, and Snorlax.
Yes, and you see, on Ivan's side of the field, what was interesting is that he did not bring the Mimikyu.
Yeah. Because that's my concern, right? Because I bet he's wondering, like, what can Mimikyu offer into the field?
Yes.
Because my answer would be get rid of the Cresselia.
Yes. I guess you can argue that maybe Ivan thought, I'm not going to bring my Mimikyu because maybe Wilson will set up Trick Room for me or something along those lines. But either way, not having brought it was definitely, I would say, the wrong call on his end.
Yeah. Because Wilson just have so many ways to deal with the 2 modes that Ivan has. Slow mode, you have Incineroar and Venusaur.
Yep.
Fast mode, you have Coco and Landorus.
Yes.
Ivan needs to predict which mode would Wilson
opt for.
Yeah, but regardless, right, of which mode he leads with, there's always a mid-ground play that Wilson can always make. He can go for 1 fast and 1 slow, and he can fine-tune the position to which Ivan sets the board state. If Ivan does not decide to go for a Trick Room, he could just play normally and not opt for his Trick Room ones, but go for a straight sweeping position.
Yes. Yeah, but now we're going into the second game for our Swiss round 4 here. What do you think Ivan should do right now to, give him a good start? What should he lead with?
I still feel Mimilax. Mimilax is the call, but you gotta preserve the Snorlax all the way to the end.
Either you keep Mimilax at the back for the late game.
Front.
Oh, at the front?
Front. And then you swap the Snorlax into Incineroar and go for a Trick Room. Because you gotta play from that, because you have to kill for Ivan, it's quite hard for him, right? He has to knock out everything and leave the Venusaur and potentially Tapu Fini or whatever Cresselia last to deal with. Because if he leads with Incineroar and Mimikyu, and Wilson does bring Tapu Fini, that's also a bad position for him. If he does set up Trick Room, the Salamence goes somewhere in the middle, because you're faster than Coco and Landorus, but you can't knock them out. You hit everything for resistance. You just want Salamence there for the Venusaur, because the Venusaur can 1v5 the whole team.
And we've actually have not seen Wilson's Incineroar set yet just yet, right?
We just saw Fake Out.
We just saw Fake Out, yeah. So we are actually not exactly sure what else he's carrying, and if there is a low kick there, which is a very viable option as well, that Snorlax also will still be threatened by it.
The Snorlax can also be preserved by the low-key damage, because you always have Fake Out support and Intimidate support from the Incineroar. But it's so difficult in Ivan's position because you have Incineroar, Venusaur, and Coco Landorus to deal with, which is so difficult. It's such a big task for him to do.
Yeah, it is a little bit tougher of a matchup there. But we do see that Mirror Incineroar on both sides of the field, and Tapu Koko there for Wilson, and there's Salamence for Ivan.
Yeah, Wilson is very free to lead with Tapu Koko because Ivan does not have anything to touch Koko with. If he does, for example, Incineroar and Snorlax, both are physical attackers which are neutered with the Intimidate on Landorus and Incineroar.
but Ivan here going straight up for that double Intimidate. Maybe he's keeping Mimilax at the back.
Yeah, potentially. Potentially. Because I don't see why you will bring Milotic into the matchup, because you often... offer the KO on Landorus, but
yes, but
he
you're
has
weak
Coco
to Tapu Koko and
and
Venusaur. Yes,
literally
exactly.
these two
just stand out. It's just not good for Milotic. And I mean, in terms of that last game, Milotic didn't really even do much. It didn't do anything at all.
If it had Adrenaline Op, it would have been a different narrative, because you can pick up the KO on Landorus first.
Yep.
So the Landorus does not threaten the KO on Salamence and Incineroar, which is a different story, but we know it's Barry already, so it's much harder, I would say.
And we do see the fake out going on that Tapu Koko there, flinching. Well, essentially, nothing much has been achieved that turn aside from that fake out.
Yeah, and I don't know what can Salamence do here, honestly, because like what can you do? Because it's very free for Wilson to go for a Dazzling Gleam, I would say. Dazzling Gleam and Incineroar could go for low kick onto the Incineroar on Wilson's side.
Yep. You know, honestly, I think if the Mimilax is preserved at the back, I don't think it's completely over yet for Ivan. I think there is still some chance, but it's definitely an uphill battle.
I still honestly feel it's over, because if it's Mimilax in the back, and we know that the Snorlax has not shown Protect yet, if he had shown in game 1 at that situation, he should have gone for it. The Snorlax is free attack bait. Like, the Mimikyu is not offering anything on the field. And we do see it's...
the Milotic. So
we know he has not brought one of the components.
Yes. So it is... I think it's...
What a switch.
Yeah.
Landorus switches into the Milotic switch in, which activates a comparative boost right now.
Yes.
But I don't know whether will Coco go for Electrum Z onto
the Milotic. But we do have a little bit of technical difficulty, as you can see. We are in a bit of a sort of free state. But yeah, I mean, currently I think with that Landorus switch there activating the competitive boost, it'll be interesting to see how I can around that.
we're very sorry for the
technical difficulty. Oh, but we're back now, and we do see the Incineroar from Ivan's side going for Flare Blade straight into that Tapu Koko.
That Intimidate is really paying off its dividends right now, because it buys Tapu Koko another turn to potentially go for a Thunderbolt onto the Milotic.
Because the Incineroar is actually at -2 now, I believe, from the Incineroar previously, and then the
Landorus Intimidate, yeah.
So with -2, of course, really, I mean, the Tapu Koko definitely surviving that like a champ.
Exactly, yeah. And then now Landorus just picks up the kill. You could easily go for Rock Slide Thunderbolt, Rock Slide Thunderbolt, Rock Slide Thunderbolt. Nothing is stopping that.
Yeah, and on top of that, you have to pray that there is no flinches as well.
Exactly, and we know that the Landorus is already Choice Scarf. If Salamence does decide to come in, the Landorus is going to get chipped first.
Suffered by the Rock Slide, yeah.
I don't see how Ivan deals with the combination of Choice Scarf Landorus, Tapu Koko, while having an answer to Mega Venusaur in the back. There's too much of a task for him to have.
What I am a little bit skeptical or confused about is why still bring the Milotic when it's not offering much?
I have no idea. I can't justify it either. Because I still would have preferred Mimilax to an extent. Mimilax would have picked up something at least.
Yes. But we see the Rock Slide.
Yeah, this is what I mentioned. Now we're gonna have the combination of Rock Slide Gleam, Rock Slide Dazzling Gleam, Rock Slide Dazzling Gleam. Or Thunderbolt.
Yeah, either one, but we do see...
Is that a crit? No!
No, it's not a crit, but we do see the very proc there, bringing that Snorlax back to almost full health.
That's
but
Snorlax,
either way...
like, took Thunderbolt, that's like a 3-hit KO.
Yeah.
After the Rock Slide, and then the berry procced already, so you can't... Ivan can't go for a free belly drum, like that is already stopped by Landorus and Coco.
But right now, if you notice, Ivan isn't actually offering anything offensively at all. He is just trying to protect and trying to switch and trying to put himself in a better position.
Yeah, Wilson is just clicking buttons right now. He's like Rock Slide, Thunderbolt, Rock Slide, Gleam,
so
depending on the
Mega. Chipping away on Ivan's Pokemon's health, but Ivan is not achieving anything offensively.
The Volt Switch put in the yellow zone. My goodness, like... maybe the Tapu Koko, yeah, sure, the Tapu Koko can be a vanilla spray, but I want to know what's that Snorlax. Why is it taking special hits? Not so well.
Yeah.
And we do see the Snorlax flinch from the Rock Slide. And now Venusaur is in very prime position to go for Leech Seed, I would say. Leech Seed or Giga Drain. Yeah, either one, either or. It's just very tough.
Either way, it's tough, especially when you have that Mega Venusaur there. at full health, Landorus at full health. Almost all his mons are actually at full health, I believe. And Ivan is just getting chipped away with that Rock Slide and Venusaur, or I guess any mon that Wilson decides to bring in. It's just going to stack up on that damage. It's just not looking good for Ivan right now.
Because that's the problem, right? Because your team does not have any... Ivan's team does not have any
effective
answers to Choice Scarf, Landorus and Tapu Koko at the moment. Both of these mons just come out, do their damage, chip enough for Venusaur to come in and finish up the job.
Yeah, actually now in retrospect, now that you've mentioned it, because we've seen Wilson, of course, carrying the Scarf Lando and consistently leading with Tapu Koko. I mean, he's just opting for fast offense. And Ivan, if he had recognized that, should have brought the Mimilax to set up Trick Room and allow him to capitalize off, the speed advantage that he would have then. But instead, he chooses to bring
the Icy Wind miss on Koko is actually quite big. But it also depends on the speed here on that Milotic, whether it could outspeed Tapu Koko at -1. And we do see a recycle going onto the Snorlax.
At this moment, to be frank, I just think it's all about just not really stalling, but just trying to preserve and not. I mean, it just seems like it's going really, really slow. Eventually, I think Ivan's just gonna boost to Timer.
No, I don't think Timer will be a factor though, because Wilson can offer so much damage on the board right now. Like I mentioned, Thunderbolt's Giga Drain. Thunderbolt here,
yeah, I mean,
Sludge Bomb somewhere.
Ivan's just not doing enough offensively, and at this
he
point,
can't.
he can't. Yeah, at
move.
this point, he's just trying to adjust his board position. But yeah, he just keeps switching and trying to adjust his position such that he would be in one that is beneficial for him. But it's just not looking good. Well, he does have the fake out pressure now, but
it's not gonna matter. It's gonna go down this turn,
yeah.
like I mentioned. Volt Switch going onto the Milotic switching with it being Incineroar, and we might just see a Giga Drain coming from
that
Mega Venusaur.
Yeah.
So now Koko can bring in Landorus here if he wanted to. Go for potential Rock Slide, Earthquake, it doesn't really matter right now. Or his own Incineroar for that matter. You could go for a low king or a knockoff, anything if he does have that. And we do see Incineroar, like I mentioned. It's just the cycling of Intimidates from Incineroar and Landorus.
He is just doing, I mean, Wilson just knows that he needs to cycle those Intimidates, because, I mean, even if Ivan successfully gets a belly jump off, it'll just be way too late, and it's just not going to matter if Wilson just continues to cycle Intimidates the way he is doing right now. It's just going to bring him back to neutral eventually.
Precisely, and now I still feel it's like a losing fight, because Ivan needs so much. But I don't know if he brought the wrong one. I still feel Milotic was dead weight in the matchup.
Me too, yeah. I think Milotic did not offer anything at all. Yes, you had Icy Wind as a form of speed control, but it was not the best option you could have possibly gone for in order to check Wilson's team.
Yeah, that's how I honestly felt as well. I still don't know how he could improve the board position if you ask me.
At this point, it is actually fairly difficult for him. I don't see any way Ivan can come back offensively. I mean, at this point, he's just slowly taking damage until he just loses all his mons. Unfortunately, we have a little bit of technical error once more. We truly apologize. Okay, we're back now. We do see the fake out go out onto the Salamence there, and
Snorlax is already pinned down with the recycle.
Yep.
And we might just see a knockoff here. It's very free for Incineroar to go for a knockoff if you ask me. And we do see Tapu Koko leeching the life off from the Snorlax and bring it over back to the green zone. My goodness, that should indicate how much hit points the Snorlax does carry.
Yes, of course the Incineroar went for a fake out the previous turn, but now with you definitely see a knockoff potentially going off into the Snorlax, definitely taking away the berry.
I still feel that Wilson, if he was smart, right, if he wants to get rid of the item immediately, he will go for a Thunderbolt onto the Salamence and then go for a knockoff onto the Snorlax.
Yep. You want to get rid of the berry, but Ivan decides to switch out into the Milotic there. Again. But
still, you're getting rid of something, like Incineroar does do its job, man.
Yeah, Incineroar, even if you knock off into the Milotic slot, you get rid of its berry as well.
Yep, and we do see Koko going for a Volt Switch
into that Salamence there, doing about half and going back.
We might just see Venusaur come in here.
Yep, definitely not.
Can never bring
in the Landorus because of the competitive boost that the Milotic might get. So we will see Landorus come in. Oh, sorry, we will get Venusaur come in. Sorry, because of the competitive boost.
Is it going to the Koko spot? He doesn't have the Venusaur.
Okay, so Venusaur just goes down just like that to that double H there.
What a play.
Yes. But yeah, as we said, the knockoff will definitely come off there. Yeah, like I said, getting rid of the berry. Either way,
he's got one piece of the puzzle done, but how does he deal with Choice Scarf Landorus now? That's my bigger
he
question.
Can just rock slide, rock slide, rock slide.
Sure, now Coco does come in.
And if he can just get rid of that Milotic, Landorus can just rock slide.
Now he has to preserve the Incineroar to an extent as well, because he needs the Incineroar for the Snorlax matchup at all costs. Because that's his only way of getting knockoffs onto Snorlax.
Getting rid of the berry, and also the fake out pressure is always good.
Yeah, because Landorus cannot pick up the KO on Snorlax, he has to preserve the Incineroar at all costs.
Either way, if you can just get rid of that Milotic, I think it's Wilson it's just doing so well right now.
Yeah, but I still feel the Salmon is going to pose a big threat onto the Incineroar, but I don't know if he'll pick up the KO. It can't be too low as well, because we know that the Milotic will outspeed the Incineroar. And we do see Snorlax being switched in from the Milotic slot, and we do see a Protect. It's a bit passive.
Yeah.
But with this play, right, Ivan is really banking on the double edge to pick up the KO on Incineroar. He's got to.
Yeah, so Wilson actually going for the Thunderbolt straight into that, what was previously the Milotic slot, definitely trying to get rid of it, because you know that you have Landorus at the back, and when you bring it in, Milotic's the only thing you just need gone at that point.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so I don't see how he's going to pick up the KO on Coco actually. He's got to double edge and Facade, because we saw that was his attacking move. And we do see a free Dazzling Gleam coming out from Coco. And we might just see a knockoff actually.
Could have got hit, but really, at this point, yeah. But yeah.
And we do see a low kick like I mentioned.
So yeah, he is carrying low kick there. Recycle back. Just barely missing the KO and recycling back the berry, and of course procking it right now, as you can see.
This is a very lengthy game.
Yeah, it is a very
but
lengthy game.
But it's at a dying cost in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you can try to maintain your mons, trying to keep them healthy, trying to maneuver and such, but eventually, for what cost? At what cost? You get what I mean? Like, you're not offering anything offensively. You're just gonna get chipped eventually, and even if you try to stay and preserve your mons until the end, you have no effective way of removing the mons on your opponent's side of the field.
The Incineroar, with that amount of HP, I still believe you can lift the Skull. The bigger threat is actually Snorlax at the moment, so he might want to Thunderbolt into Snorlax. No, Milotic, what?
Trying to get rid of the Milotic for the Landorus at the back, I still believe.
Yeah, that's a good call as well. We just see him spamming Loki, because that's all he's gotta do now.
Yeah,
we might just see a Recycle. No, that's just a good game already. That's a good game.
Probably realizing that, you know what, I can't keep recycling forever, just going a high horsepower right into that slot.
Yeah, because that's my gripe, right? Like, why Milotic? You offer nothing in the matchup besides dealing with Landorus, but even then, the Landorus is Choice Scarf. You may have U-turn, you can have Rock Slide for the flinches, late game.
I mean, the only thing I can potentially think of that why he would bring Milotic is definitely the pressure for the Landorus.
And Incineroar.
And the Incineroar, and I guess if you want to argue, maybe because he sees double Intimidate on the other side of the field, so I don't know, like, I guess that's the only thing I can think of. Like, Milotic just does not offer enough, I guess, for this particular matchup.
Yep, and a very big congratulations to Wilson for progressing into 4-0. He's in a very good spot, I would say, to secure a top cut if he does well within the next 2 matches.
Yep.
Yeah, depending on who else is other 4-0 and depending on resistance, Wilson 4 might also be able to, like, if he does not perform well in the next 2 sets, he may still be in the running chance to secure top cut, I would say.
Yeah, and if he continues to do well, makes his way all the way to the finals, he can just lock up his invite right here and then.
Exactly, so in terms of the team previously, yeah, like I mentioned, he does have Mega Venusaur, right? But Mega Venusaur loses to Mega Salamence. Hard checks, like all these grass bulky mons like Volcarona with setup, Mega Venusaur, which is so bulky. The only answer is just Mega Salamence.
Yeah.
But Wilson has so many ways to deal with Mega Salamence.
That Tapu Koko, and then you have the Landers as
and
well.
Cresselia.
And the Cresselia, yeah. So honestly, like, Wilson knows his answers to the weaknesses that Venusaur has. Yeah.
Exactly, and we're gonna go into a winner's interview.
Yeah, I think Ismail, you take the interview or?
Fine, I'll take the winner's interview. I'll be interviewing Wilson for the winner of round 4. So stay tuned, we'll have the interview with Wilson shortly.